I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume. So I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. We continue in the Gospels. We are still in the land of Judea, not quite in Jerusalem. Might be in Jerusalem, we don't know. It's just in this area of Judea. Christ is teaching the Jews down here. We are in the last month or two before his crucifixion. We've been reading a lot in Luke. We had a number of good parables, a lot of repeat doctrine that he taught in Galilee. He's now teaching in Jerusalem. But with the Joseph Smith translation, we've been seeing how he's teaching it. We're seeing, instead of just repeating portions of discourses, we see how it's all going. It's beautiful reading in the Joseph Smith translation. But now we are going to continue with Luke. This time we are turning to chapter 17. In this video we have a Joseph Smith translation. Now what the Joseph Smith translation is, this is a translation or correction done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that have been lost or corrupted over the years. Luke 17 verses 1 through 10. Then said he unto his disciples, It is impossible but that offenses will come. But woe unto him through whom they come. It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him, and if he repent, forgive him. And if he trespass against thee 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day turn again to thee, saying, I repent, thou shalt forgive him. And the apostles said unto the Lord, Increase our faith. And the Lord said, If ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye might say unto this sycamine tree, Be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you. But which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, will say unto him by and by, when he is come from the field, Go and sit down to meat? And will not rather say unto him, Make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself, and serve me till I have eaten and drunken, and afterward thou shalt eat and drink? Doth he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? I trow not. So likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, We are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. Okay, just the word trow there, that's a rather archaic term. It just means to think. It's my opinion. So, does he give thanks? I think not. It's unlikely. But now the beginning part of this we've read before. It's a little bit disjointed again. Maybe the Joseph Smith translation will clear that up a bit. But woe to those through whom offenses come. So we will always have trials, but if they are caused by somebody else, that person is liable in the eyes of heaven, and they will receive their reward for that. But then we have this forgiveness, which is again just repeating what we read in Matthew. It's not forgive 70 times 7, but it's the same idea. I'll forget, as long as they're repenting, we forgive them. But then we get to that last part about the servant doing his master's bidding. He's doing the work, and when he comes into the house, he is given more work to do. And saying, look, when you go out and you do the service of God, don't think that you are in some special position, even though you're the apostles. Don't think you're in a special position. You're just doing your duty. You're not doing any more than what God has commanded you to do. Don't think that you will come in and take the place of God. Don't think that you are going to be given any relaxation and you're going to be given any special treatment. Servants in general, the one that works the hardest, one that proves he is able and willing to do the will of his Lord, is going to be given more work because the Lord trusts him. He trusts him to do the greater work. And that's what this is talking about. Does God trust us to do more work for him? Or are we just doing this in the hope that we will get the reward? Let us look at the Joseph Smith translation. In verse 1, we just change unto him to him, so, woe to him. In verse 3, it is now, if your brother trespass against you, in minor grammatical update. In verse 4, we have the same kind of thing, so if he trespass against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day turn to you again, saying, I repent, you shall forgive him. Minor grammatical corrections. Verse 5, instead of unto the Lord, it's now unto him, Lord, increase our faith. Doesn't really change the meaning, but it does give that little extra, they're addressing the Lord now. Now in verse 6, ye is changed to you, and the word plucked up by the root is now pluralized, plucked up by the roots. Verse 7, which is changed to who, and by is simply removed. So now we'll say unto him when he come from the field. Now verse 8 and 9, let's just read together. You have a number of corrections here, so we read the two. Will he not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird yourself, and serve me till I have eaten and drunken, and afterward, by and by, you shall eat and drink. Doth he thank that servant because he doeth the things which were commanded him? I say unto you, nay. And then in verse 10 at the end there, we have done that which was our duty to do. We have the addition, we have done that which was no more than our duty to do. So that's just a minor clarification, but I do like the verses 8 and 9, that when you take 7, 8, and 9, taking the by and by out and switching it down into verse 8, it gives you a better flow of the parable that he's giving here. But nothing profound in there. So we leave that here, and we are actually going to be turning back to John next. We are reading of Lazarus. So I will see you there.